Hey guys, it's JJ. Welcome to a new series on college football 26. It's gonna be the Nebraska Dynasty, where we got a 6-year contract. Our head coach is gonna be Sean Keaton, but more about him later. First of all, I want to go over the ideas and rules for this rebuild. So I have got some house rules again, just to make the gameplay a little bit more challenging and realistic. And first one is we're gonna go on slower coaching speed, not the slowest one, but slower, just to not get all the upgrades too fast. And then we are not going to be doing any manual progression. It's gonna be either, I think I'm gonna set it to auto progression, but if not, I'm gonna randomize it if I do select manual progression, but I will not be cheesing the system like Bordeaux did in his Ball State video. Then we're gonna be playing on Heisman with Mat 10 sliders, which just dropped today. Then we're gonna be talking about roster retention, because I think the transfer portal was a little bit overdone and went too far the other direction from what I've seen so far. I have not simulated into an offseason myself, but I have turned up the maximum transfers to 30, but I've turned the probability down from the default set and or from the default slider, I guess. So I hope we can keep it in check and not have 30-50 players transfer every year from every team. That's a little bit too much. And then we're also not going to be persuading early declares. Like if a player declares early to the NFL draft and is projected to go in the first 3 rounds, we're not going to try to persuade them to stay. And if a running back declares early, we will not persuade him at all, even if he's projected for the 7th round. That's just the running back position. It's just realistic that those guys go early, because 1 year more in college might pose a significant injury history. Now, for redshirts, we are not going to be doing any redshirting anymore. I did that in all my dynasties on CFB25, and it was kind of cheesing the system a little bit, so I wanna not do that anymore. We've got the auto redshirt if a player didn't play in 4 games at the end of the year. If a player didn't appear in more than 4 games, he's gonna be auto redshirted, and if I do use him in more than 4 games, then he's not going to be redshirted. That's just realistic as well. Then for coordinators or playbooks, generally we'll use playbooks that are consistent with the scheme of our coordinators. So whatever the coordinators have as their scheme, we'll use one of those playbooks. For scouting, I will only fully scout players that are from my own state. Everybody that's from out of state will only hit the scout button once, and we have to work then with that information. For recruiting, we can only recruit players that are either interested in us, meaning we as our school is already in the top 10. Players that are in state, so we can recruit everybody from Nebraska. And we can recruit everybody that's on our star level or lower. So Nebraska's program is a 3.5 star, so we can only recruit 3 stars or lower. If they're not interested in us and not from our state, we can't just go in after any 4 and 5 stars that are out there, because that would make it a little bit too easy to get to the top here. And then for quarterback accuracy, or the quarterback play, we'll use the placement. And then for audibling, because that's kind of a weird one, I don't want to abuse the defense plays press, so I'm gonna hot route to fly, because defense can't, the CPU defense does not adjust to that. So we'll use QB awareness. as a rating that's going to determine how much we can audible. 0 to 69 QB accuracy means we can not audible at all. 70 to 79 means we can adjust pass protection and running back routes. And then 80 to 89 means we can audible into different plays and flip the play. And everything above 90 QB awareness means we can also adjust hot routes and get the flies if they show press. Now, the coach, it's Sean Keaton. He is a left tackle from my Philadelphia Eagles franchise. He was the number one overall pick we selected there. And this is also the style of offense we want to play. He's an offensive lineman. We're gonna have him build up the trenches, and we're gonna create a run game, a dominant ground game in the Midwest here. That's what I want to see out of this team. But to start off this dynasty, we're having one of our best players is the quarterback, Dylan Raiola. 97 throw power, an absolute cannon, great accuracies across the board. He's looking really good in practice. And then we've got at the running back position another probably future NFL draftee in Emmett Johnson, 90 speed, 92 excel, very elusive running back with some pretty good juke and spin moves. But you're also going to be seeing Quinton Ives here, the backup. He's a little bit slower. He's going to be rotated in from here and there. You're probably also going to be seeing this kid, Jamarian Parker, a true freshman at 77 overall, 92 speed, 90 excel. Kid looks absolutely electric. Gonna be nice to see. And then Barrett Liebentritt. This is the fullback we're going to use. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that the top running back, we're only going to have one feature back. Everybody else is a backup. There is no running back by committee or something on this team. It's going to be one back, and if Smith doesn't deliver, we're screwed. There is no running back by committee. For receivers, we have actually a superstar here. Key, the top receiver, he's going to be the X. Barney is actually going to be the slot. He doesn't really have a great release or rating, so Barney is going to be the slot. And then Hunter is the number 3, so the Z receiver. And then Bonner is going to get in there for receiver personnel. Is mostly going to play outside probably, and then we're maybe going to move Hunter to the slot if we're playing 4 receiver sets. But I'm assuming we're going to run the ball a lot as well with Emmitt Smith, so don't know if there's a lot of 10 personnel. And then for tight ends, we've got Mac Markway, solid starting tight end, nothing special. For the offensive line, starter on the left side is going to be Gunnar Gottula, 88 strength, some really good pass protection, solid run blocker, nothing special to say about this dude. At left guard, we've got Henry Lutovsky. He's a senior, so this is going to be his last year, and we'll have to get somebody up and running here from the backups next year. At center, we've got an 81 overall in Justin Evans, 88 strength, some really good pass protection ratings. Same for the right guard, 83 overall, very good pass protector, 83 overall, and then 84 overall at right tackle. So overall, I'd say this offensive line looks very solid. A lot of starters around 80 overall. Pretty happy about that. You gotta be happy about that. And then for the defense, there is a couple of strengths, but also a couple of weaknesses here. While I'd say the offense is all around solid, there is no real weakness, but also we have a couple of star players, quarterback, running back, receiver. But on the defense, the edge rushers actually look solid, not a massive strength, but also not a massive weakness. So Nwaneri, the redshirt freshman, is going to be the starter in base, and Keona Davis is going to be the starter in nickel because he's the better pass rusher. And then on the other side, we've got Lenhart as a full-time starter, very well-rounded player. The 77 overall rating, in my opinion, doesn't do him justice for what he does well, which is rushing the passer and stopping the run. His block shedding is pretty solid as well. So Lenhart, going to be seeing him a lot this year. And then for the defensive tackle group, unfortunately, I have to say this is kind of a weakness. While we do have an 80 overall here, the starter in base is going to be Parrott, along with Judy, and then Van Poppel is going to get in there in nickel and dime. But overall, I'd say this is a too light a group. We're running a 3-3-5, so we need a real nose tackle, but our only nose tackle, like passable player, has like 280 pounds or something. So we need to invest in this defensive tackle group. This is not enough. And then for the linebacking unit, this is the real strength on the defense here. We've got Deshaun McCullough, who is gonna start as a base linebacker, but also in nickel and dime. We've got somebody else actually, because in dime you only have one linebacker. But Javen Wright only gonna be starting in base. The dude that's going to be starting the 100% of snaps on defense here at the linebacker position is going to be Marquez Watson Trent. Watson Trent is a future NFL player, I think. He's also a senior, so he's going to be gone after this year. We'll have to find a replacement for him, but he looks really good. And then for the cornerback unit, we do have one star in Sierra Wright, and Wright is a very good number one. He's gonna cover the alphas. Then Malcolm Hartzog is gonna be the slot corner. He's very small. He doesn't have a great press rating, so that's his spot. And then Bly Hill is gonna be on the other side. Amari Sanders might get in there, and if he does play in dime, he's gonna be a slot. But Wright, Herzog, and Hill, that's the three you're gonna have to focus on for the cornerback room. And then we do have a solid safety duo as well. The free safety is gonna be an 85 overall, but he's a senior, so again, we're losing a lot of the good players after this year. So I'm interested in how we can keep this around, this roster, how we are gonna like stay one of the top teams in the conference. And then at strong safety, we've got an 84 overall, who's also a senior, so he's gonna be going as well. But I actually do think we have a good backup there that's gonna start next year then. And then at kicker, we actually have three kicker for some reason, which doesn't make any sense. But Tristan Alvano, 94 kick power is enough. That's gonna be the starter. I don't care about the other two. I'm probably gonna cut them if they don't transfer themselves. And then Camden Cock is or Cook. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's an awful name, I gotta say. He's gonna be the punter, and he's a freshman. So, of course, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications as we move on to the scheme. As I've already said, we're gonna use coordinators' playbooks. So, even though we got a new head coach here, I'm gonna keep the playbooks we already have. So this is a multiple playbook. I'm assuming that we are going to run a lot of running plays. We're going to run one of the run heavier offenses in the league, I think, just because we're in the Midwest. I'm assuming there is probably going to be a couple of rain and snow games each. There's a lot of shotgun in this playbook, so we're going to keep using that. And then for the defense, this is a 3-3-5. So I hope we can get a defensive line together that is solid enough, but I think we're going to be playing a little bit more aggressively. We do have the secondary talent at the moment to make up for that defensive line, so I'm assuming we're going to be running a lot more blitzes than I'm usually running. Usually I play the bend don't break defense, but here with this kind of defense, I think you have to create pressure by creating stunts and blitzes and stuff. So that's going to be the line to go here for Sean Keaton in his first season. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the conferences, like every time. So I do not like how conferences are set up in college football in general. And what I'm doing is I put all the teams together that are like in the same states. So For example, we have the ACC here, and the ACC is going to be all the teams from South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. Plus, this year I also have Maryland, not the state, the college, Maryland in there, because it didn't really set up well. If I had Maryland in the actual conference where I would want to have them, I would have uneven numbers in the Conference USA, and I would have an uneven conference number, an uneven number of teams in the ACC as well. But the North for the ACC is going to be all Virginia, plus Maryland, plus North Carolina and Duke, and the South is going to be all the rest of North Carolina colleges and the 3 South Carolina teams. So that's the setup for the ACC. And then for the next conference, which is the American, we've got all the teams from West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana. And I split it up into North and South. Oh yeah, by the way, all the conferences are split into divisions. I really like the division setup. You've got 2 kings of the division that face each other in the conference championship game. And here we've got in the South all the teams from Tennessee, plus a couple teams from Kentucky, and in the other half it's going to be West Virginia and Indiana for the most part. And then yeah, this is a really cool setup. Also, this kind of conference realignment also allows, every conference has somewhere between 2 and 5 great teams from Power 4 conferences, and it allows for a lot cooler playoffs to be created. For the Big 12, it's all Texas and Oklahoma. The coast is more the coastal teams, and the plains is all the Oklahoma teams, plus, you know, the further inland teams like UTEP or like North Texas as well. So that's how I set up the Big 12. The Big 10 is all the teams from Ohio, plus all the teams from Michigan, and I also put Notre Dame in there this year. So Notre Dame is going to be in the Michigan side of things, plus Toledo, plus the 5 Michigan teams. And then in the other division, it's going to be the 7 Ohio teams that are not named Toledo. So as you can see, we have three top teams in there with Ohio State, Michigan, and Notre Dame. Maybe you can count Cincinnati as well, but. And then the Conference USA, that's the New England division or conference. So we have here in the North, it's the 3 New York teams, the 2 Massachusetts teams, and UConn. And in the South for the Conference USA, we've got the 3 Pennsylvania teams, we've got the 1 New Jersey team, the Delaware team, and then that's where I split up Maryland, because Navy or Maryland, I didn't know who to put where, but Navy is going to be in the Conference USA because I like it set up that way, because then they'll have Army versus Navy in conference. That's cooler to me, and Maryland with the Virginia rivalry, I mean, that makes sense to put into the ACC. For the MAC, this is actually our division in the Great Lakes Conference. In the Great Lakes division, we've got the 2 Iowa teams, the 3 Illinois teams, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. And that's why I have Notre Dame now in the Big Ten, because last year I had Wisconsin in the Big Ten instead. But this year, with the addition of Missouri State, I had an uneven number in this conference. So I moved Wisconsin to this conference, and then instead put Notre Dame in the Big Ten. And the Plains division, that's ours. So that's all of our opponents: 2 Missouri teams, 2 Kansas teams, and 2 Arkansas teams. So as you can see again in this setup, we've got a couple Big Ten teams, we've got a couple SEC teams in our division, and in the other ones it's more Big Ten teams, but there is some Power 5 teams there as well. And then for the Mountain West Conference, it's actually the Mountain West Conference, so it's all the mountains, all the mountains teams. So in the deserts, it's like Arizona and Nevada and Utah, and then the Plains division, it's going to be New Mexico and Colorado, Wyoming, and one of the Utah teams actually. And then in the Pac-12, we've got all the Pacific teams, so the actual Pac-12. So the Cascadia division is going to be the 2 Oregon teams, the 2 Washington teams, and Cal and Stanford. And the Southern Coast division is going to be all the Southern California teams: San Jose State, San Diego State, Fresno State, UCLA, USC, and Hawaii as well. And then for the SEC, this is the actual Southeastern Conference, so Florida and Georgia. For the West, we've got 4 Georgia teams plus Florida State and USF. And for the Eastern half, we're going to have 5 Florida teams and Georgia Southern as well in there. And as you can see in this one, again, we've got Miami, we've got Florida State, we've got Georgia. Again, a few top teams. In the Sun Belt, Eastern half, it's going to be 6 Alabama teams plus Southern Miss. So in this half, you've got Alabama and Auburn as your top teams. And in the West, you've got the 5 Louisiana teams plus Ole Miss and Mississippi State. So with Ole Miss, LSU, and Mississippi State, you've got 3 top teams in this division as well. And the way I set this up, I have tested this enough in College Football 25. Every conference gets won by one of the really good teams, and the 12 teams that make it to the playoff always were teams that like actually belong there. You don't suddenly have like a Tulane in the college football playoff, which to me is absolutely ridiculous. Now let's move on to the schedule. I randomized it again. I randomized the out of conference game. We're gonna open the season against Vanderbilt, so a former SEC team that is now playing in the American. And then we're gonna have a rivalry game against Wisconsin right off the bat to start conference play. And then we're gonna be playing Missouri State, which is one of the 2 new teams in the game. We've got Akron then. I randomized this one as well, so we're gonna play them at home as well. And that's 4 home games to start the season. And then we're gonna have 4 away games. Kansas State, Minnesota is gonna be a rivalry game. Then we've got Northwestern, which is an old Big Ten matchup, and then another rivalry game against Missouri, which I didn't know this rivalry existed, but interesting. And then Arkansas State, we're gonna face them again as a home game. Then 2 more away games. UAB, also randomized this one, and then Arkansas from the former SEC. And then at the end, we're going to be playing Kansas at home to finish out the season. And then this conference that I set up here, the MAC, is the only conference with my setup that does not have a championship game eligible stadium in one of the states that all the teams are in. So we're going to be actually playing at the AT&T Stadium to have the championship game there. And that's the setup for this dynasty. I'm really excited to get this going. Nebraska, is gonna be a really cool rebuild. I want this rebuild to be very heavy on the run game, a real Midwest offense with lots of running and an aggressive defense to complement it. And I think Sean Keaton is gonna do a good job of that. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that since we have Dylan Raiola as our quarterback, we are in he has 82 QB awareness, so we can audible anything we want except hot routing, which I think is fine. I can live without the hot routing. So just everything else is possible. That's good. And with that, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe for more Nebraska Dynasty. See you in the next episode. Until then, have a great day.